In my first 6 months, I did 0 transactions. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Demetres Giannitsos with eXp Realty. And lately I've been doing some agent-focused content on this YouTube page. And I figured today I would break down exactly how much money I made in my very first year selling real estate. And I'll also go over some things that I would avoid or do over to drastically increase that amount, knowing what I know now. So I want to start this off by saying I have a very unique first year selling real estate because I actually had 2 first years. For those of you who are not familiar with my story, I originally started selling real estate in Edmonton, Alberta, which is where I grew up, just outside Edmonton. And then after about 9 months, I moved to Toronto to be with my now fiance. And I had to start fresh all over again. So that's why I say I had 2 first years. And I will say that I also had 2 very different experiences in each city. It was really based on one determining factor, which I'll get into. So let's start off in Edmonton. I had just quit my job. I just quit it cold turkey. I said, I'm going to do real estate. I got my license in about 3 months. And then, here I am. I was super lucky in the fact that I got introduced to an amazing brokerage, an amazing broker who was also a great mentor for me. And I'm forever grateful. Jesse McCracken, I know you might be watching this over in YEG Pro Realty in Edmonton. I just really hit the lottery in the fact that, my broker was very generous with her time and mentoring me. And at the time, I didn't know how this business worked. Now knowing what I know, this is something that I typically would have to pay for in the form of commission splits. But she was, offering it to me for free. And I didn't even know what I was getting until now. So forever grateful. But yeah, so I got my license. And, as a first year agent, we know that, typically your first few deals are going to come from your sphere, your family, your friends, your sphere of influence. And luckily I'd grown up just outside Edmonton. I had friends and family who lived in the area, and things started off really, really well. I'm not going to lie. I actually did my first 3 deals all on the same day. I got them under contract. I had a really good friend of mine who, took the leap of faith with a new agent, let me list his semi-detached home. We sold that for $420. And then we were already looking for him on the buy side. So the second we got that under contract, we then just immediately wrote an agreement for what he wanted to purchase, which was a $750,000 home. And then meanwhile, the same day I was also negotiating for a family friend who was buying a brand new pre-construction home off of developers. So we got all 3 contracts signed on the same day. And I'm just sitting thinking, oh my God, real estate is a cakewalk. This is amazing. This is just the beginning. And it was just going really good. And I will say that was about 3 months into my career. Okay. So it wasn't like immediate, but I mean, 3 months to, crush 3 deals in one day. I just felt like I was on fire. Like I said earlier, I can't really say that this is a full year of selling real estate in Edmonton because I was actually only there for 9 months. But what these numbers look like, after 9 months, I had done 9 transactions and I made $63,647 in gross commission sales, okay? Not bad. For 9 months, and considering the first 3 months I did nothing, after those 3 months, I really got the ball rolling. I was getting momentum. And again, I would say the biggest thing was just having that mentorship, from my broker. And it just made a ton of difference, having that sphere that I could lean on. And things were rolling. I was ready to move to Toronto at that point and take my skills to, the big leagues, the big city of Toronto, with high prices and just fierce competition. And let me tell you, I was in for a rude awakening. So like I alluded to earlier, things were going great in Edmonton. I thought I was just going to move to Toronto, plant my flag, be open for business. Hey, things are going to be great, higher price points, bigger commissions, let's go. It was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was tough. So when I moved to Toronto, I originally joined with Keller Williams, and I picked them because, I was told that it's more of a collaborative atmosphere. There's really good training, and I was looking for the mentorship that I had, over in Edmonton. And, nothing against Keller Williams. I just didn't get that from, my experience at that specific office. And oh my God, I'm going to tell you guys my numbers. When I first moved to Toronto, it's almost embarrassing to say. In my first 6 months, I did 0 transactions. I did nothing. It was really, really tough. I felt lost. I felt alone. I didn't have that spear to lean on. I wasn't getting the mentorship that I needed. And it was really tough. I was at that point looking at other options for my career. I was like, okay, I almost feel like quitting at this point. What else could I do? This isn't for me. And then, I did get a deal. Actually, shout out to a really good friend of mine and still a mortgage broker who actually gave me a really good referral. I closed my first deal in Toronto. It was about 7 or 8 months into the move. And that was a $534,000 condo. I remember it to the day. And I actually have already sold it for that client. And that was the first deal I did in the city. And in total, in my first year in Toronto, I did 2 transactions for a total of $24,621. And that is gross commission sales. So really, like, what did I actually take home after expenses? It was probably closer to about $15,000. And for those of you who know what Toronto is like, it's not the cheapest place to live. So it was tight. Like, it was really, really tight. Luckily I had some rental properties that were making me some positive cash flow that were keeping us afloat. But yeah, it was really tough. And again, I just really look back at what was a determining factor there. And it was just not having the right people around me and just trying to figure it out on my own. And as a first year agent, you need to surround yourself with some good people who can at least help guide you and get you in the right direction. And whether that's going on a split team where you're giving up 50% of your commissions to the team lead for the mentorship, or whether you're going with a group kind of like ours where, we have free training and resources and mentorship within the group. You just need to get around some agents. Don't try to figure this out on your own. Don't be a solo agent and not be able to speak to anybody or strategize, because I will say the next year after that, I left Keller Williams' office and I joined a team, a split team, where I had to give 50% of my commissions away for the mentorship. And literally with one strategy for my lead generation, the very next year, I was able to take home $140,000 with over 15 transactions. And that's giving 50% away. So it gross commission sales without the split, I was close to $300,000. And that was just implementing one strategy. And with the natural progression of things, after that year, I ended up leaving that team because, the 50% split was it was a tough pill to swallow. And I ended up joining my current brokerage, EXP. And I joined them because of our group mainly. I just wanted that mentorship, the training and the resources, just people to work with. And I didn't really want to pay for it. So that was just the best route for me. And then that year, I was able to actually exceed $500,000 in gross commission sales. So I guess the biggest takeaways from this is that if you are starting in real estate, understand that if you have a sphere when you're starting, it is massive. It is huge. Make sure you reach out to everybody, connect with them, get them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even if however you can communicate with them and just stay in touch and just build those relationships, really lean into that while you also work on, a cold lead generation strategy simultaneously. So you have 2 streams. And as you can see, when I moved from Edmonton, where I had that spirit, to Toronto, where I didn't, then I really had to rely on my lead generation strategy. And that's where the mentor really came in, gave me a direction. Here's what you can do. Here are the strategies you can implement, on social media, whatever, to build your business. And then I would say, really lean into one strategy, at least to start with, really double down, become an expert in that lead generation strategy. And once you've nailed it and it's become a second nature where it doesn't even feel like work, it's just automatic, then you can really start to add more to your repertoire and really build that business. But I think it's important to set expectations as well. As a first year agent, you're not going to go out there and do, $500,000. Or, it's been done. We actually had somebody in our group who's done about $1 million and halfway through their second year. But very rare. Most people get off the slow starts. And in fact, I actually know a lot of top agents in the city of Toronto that I've spoken with who have very similar stories to me, where they're like, 6 months in, I was like running out of money. 6 months in, I was thinking, what else could I do? But when it does take off, it can take off quickly. And this is a type of the career where, you got to put in your time. You got to put in your time in the mud. And, after a year or two, you really start to see that increase in pay. But again, just make sure you've got the right people around you. Don't try to do it on your own. I mean, for anybody who is looking to, explore opportunities and wants to see what our group has to offer, I've left a link down below and you can reach out to me there and book a one-on-one call with myself. But I figured I'd let you guys know. I mean, it's almost a little bit embarrassing to say that in my first 2 years of selling real estate, I did a combined just about, $85,000, which, isn't much, especially compared to, where we're at today. So I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, any pain points, struggles that you guys have. I'm curious to hear, especially if you're a newer agent. Drop them down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next video.